Why don't you come here to my apartment later this afternoon?
Fine. Where do you live?
361 Rue Jarry.
Okay, I'll come over.
I was used to working alone, but I had to admit it felt good with George on the case too. But there were some things I was going to have to do alone, and fast. I needed the answers to some questions. Who was the costume killer? And why did he murder Carchon? Why did Carchon ask for me to interview him? How did he know my father? And why was my editor so scared? There was some kind of secret war going on out there, but who was on which side? One thing I did know. I wasn't going to get the answers sitting at my desk. My first Teddy. Never had a boyfriend as loyal as him. I was beginning to hate the phone. All it brought me was bad news. There wasn't anyone that I needed to call. My old table had seen better days. I was beginning to know how it felt. It was a photograph of my father, the first one I ever took, with the first camera he ever bought me. No messages for me.
You have no messages.
No, I'm not giving up.
The box was one of the few things my father left me. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The box was one of the few things my father left me. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. The box was one of the few things my father left me. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. It was my neighbor, the so-called psychic.
Mademoiselle Collard.
Oh, hello there. Don't tell me I'm going to meet a tall, dark man.
No, I don't think so. Why would you say that?
Oh, just a wild guess.
Anyway, your cousin's female and very pretty.
What?
Your cousin from Marseille. How could you forget her so soon? She was only in your apartment yesterday.
Ah, really?
Such a charming young girl.
Isn't she? And in my apartment, you say?
She let herself in, of course. She's got a key.
Suddenly, everything made sense. My apartment had been bugged. That was how Plantard knew all about my article. How did I know? Because the only cousin I have is a sweet little guy called Jean-Marc, who runs a patisserie in Le Touquet. These people were determined, which meant they were also very dangerous. I suppose she'd forgotten which apartment was mine.
Oh, Miss Collard, you're a mind reader. That's just what she said.
Oh, I bet it was. Well, I'd better be going. See what my sweet cousin's been getting up to.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
So, where had my pretty new cousin hidden her little bug, eh? I was going to have to search everywhere. My first teddy. Never had a boyfriend as loyal as him. Undisturbed. No bugs there. The phone was the obvious place to look for a bug, but this handset hadn't been opened for years. Besides, they would have just bugged the line. No bug, just a 20-year-old piece of gum. It was a photograph of my father. They hadn't placed the bug on the photo. No messages for me. No one had hidden a bug on the machine.
I really do not know where we are going, but I pray to God that we are gonna get there. Stay with me, don't leave me where you going. I can't be left alone out of my own hair. I think I know exactly what you're thinking, cause I think I feel the same way too. Take my hand and let's do a little more walking.
The box was one of the few things my father left me, but that small metal disc underneath it in the chest was a recent addition. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. Oh, chère cousine, you left me a little present. You shouldn't have. You don't scare me. Espèce de... Bonjour.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
What do you think of my hair clip?
Very nice. One day I might be able to afford one of those, mademoiselle.
Do you know anything about this boat ticket?
No, mademoiselle. I am not a tourist office.
Take a look at this cloth.
It looks expensive. Did you steal it?
Well, no, of course not. Ever seen a safe key like this?
In my business, I don't come across many safes.
What do you think of this shell case?
I think whoever stopped that one must have a sore bottom.
No. What do you make of this message?
It will take you on a journey that begins where it ends. In laughter and in tears, in sadness and in joy.
You got all that from this paper?
No, it's from a song. I heard it on the radio this morning.
What do you think of this carving?
It's nice, but I wouldn't flash it around this neighborhood.
I don't suppose you're any good at unraveling codes.
My beautiful grandmother was a cryptologist for the resistance, but all I inherited were her good looks.
It wouldn't be sensible to let her know about Carchon. I took this stone cylinder from a safe.
Interesting. Let me give you a word of advice. If you ever want to know what is written on it, you should smear it with paint and then roll it on paper.
What?
It's a gift, mademoiselle. I never question it.
The woman who claimed to be my cousin, could you describe her again?
Well, she was your height, her hair lighter than yours, but otherwise she was very like you. But with impeccable manners, of course.
I bet. Au revoir.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
I don't suppose you've seen my dear cousin again, have you?
No. Of course I couldn't be certain. I'm not the sort that spends the time gossiping and spying on the neighbors, you know?
Au revoir.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
It was held in place by wires. Maybe it wasn't that after all. Maybe it was a cell phone transmitter.
I would be obliged if you did not touch the art, mademoiselle.
Just your average modern art retaining wire.
Please do not finger the wires. They are high-tension titanium-coated wires, especially imported from Birmingham, in England.
This guy was either into art or wire, or both.
If they were to become freed, this superb piece of kinetic engineering would topple and fall. At the same time, the force of the recoil would take your eye out.
The smashed window hadn't been repaired yet. There was just a sheet of flimsy plastic over it. A bored-looking gendarme sat staring at the sculpture. Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Can I ask what you're doing?
I am guarding the scene of a terrible and heinous crime.
Yeah, this statue. Tell me about it.
Au contraire, mademoiselle. This statue is a pure and visionary statement, a comment upon man's self-imposed isolation within a debased societal framework.
Not a crime, then?
The only crime you will find here is the murder of the great Monsieur Cachon.
No. How dramatic.
I know. Here in this very building, no less. It is top secret, but according to Cachon's wife, the killer was dressed as a mime. Police believe there was an accomplice, a young female journalist. Even as we speak, she is being hotly pursued up and down the land. No stone is being left unturned.
Good place to look for a journalist, officer.
We police are no fools.
Evidently. How would you like a nice air clip like this?
I must warn you, mademoiselle, that I have been trained to resist such improper advances.
What do you think of this boat ticket?
Mademoiselle, if you think taking me on a boat trip down the Seine is going to get me into bed with you, then you are mistaken. I have been trained to resist women offering boat tickets. And men, too. We are up to date on gender issues, you know.
What do you think of this pretty cloth?
Wait a minute. What is this? I have seen this before, but where? Of course! Now I remember! At my dear grandmama's. Bless her little dressing table.
I knew better than to show him a safe key. Take a look at the shell case.
My God! This must be from the gun that killed him!
Are you sure? I think it is from an army field gun.
Ah, yes, of course. The size, that's the giveaway, isn't it?
No. I'd be crazy to show him the paper with the code. What do you think of my elephant?
A poor piece, to be honest. Derivative, crude. Forget about it.
Oh, really? I was just wondering where I should stick it.
Somewhere that doesn't get much light?
That's just what I was thinking. Ever see symbols like these?
Only at the bottom of a bottle, mademoiselle. Ha! You see what I did there? I always find a little humor breaks the ice at a crime scene. Don't you agree?
No. Ever seen one of these?
Not since I was a boy. My father taught me how to whittle using a metal cylinder like that.
I bet that kept you quiet.
Indeed it did. I never talked to him again. He died before I finished.
How was Monsieur Cachon killed?
He was shot in cold blood with a gun.
Why was he dressed as a mime?
I have my own theory. Either he was mad, or he was a real mime, trying to throw us all off the scent by cunningly not wearing a disguise.
How long have you been in the police force?
All my life, mademoiselle.
It shows.
Thank you.
You must be quite an aficionado of modern art.
Au contraire, I adore it. In fact, I dabble myself.
Oh, really? I used to dabble myself, but I managed to quit in the end.
Why would a mime kill Monsieur Carchon?
He was a hired killer, I expect. Everybody knows mimes don't leave prints.
There was a small door set into the entrance gates, but nothing to say who lived there. The door was locked. It was the kind of ancient phone beloved of French workmen. I was surprised they still used them. I didn't need to call anyone. The drain pipe had been pulled from the wall. Some idiot had clearly tried to climb it. The pipes weren't going to help my investigation. From the stench, the hole obviously led down to the sewers. There might have been clues down there, but I was relieved I didn't have a sewer key. The police had been quick to clear away the wreckage and arrange for the window to be boarded up. There was nothing I could do. The workmen had everything under control.
The workman looked about as eager and helpful as your average road digger.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
I wanted to see the crime scene for myself.
It's too dangerous. I am under strict instructions to stop gossip mongers and vandals from getting in.
But I'm a journalist.
Exactly. Didn't you hear what I just said?
What if I told you I was from the insurance company?
I'd ask for your ID.
Oh.
Hello, could I ask you some questions?
Bit late, aren't you? They already took away the body.
I'm doing a follow-up on this story.
Would you like this hair clip?
What do you take me for? Some kind of a pervert?
You see this ticket?
Are you trying to bribe me?
No.
I don't blame you, of course. Good-looking fella like me.
Take a look at this.
I don't like laissez hankies. They scratch my nose.
I can see how that must be a problem for you.
Would you recognize this?
That is the key to a safe. A Warren special, if I'm not mistaken.
What do you think of my shell case?
Are you in the scrap business?
Of course not.
Pity. I've got some rubbish just like that I need to get rid of.
He wouldn't be interested. Look at this secret message.
Very nice. But it's not secret now, is it? It's just a message.
Do you like this covering?
It's the kind of thing you pick up for a couple of euros at Les Puces de Saint-Ouen.
He wouldn't be interested in a substitution cipher.
Do you know this man?
He looks like a nasty piece of work. I had an uncle who was with the fascists, but we never talk about him.
What happened to him?
How should I know? We never talk about him.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
What do you think I am? A plumber?
Tell me, are you related to the workman I saw digging the hole?
Don't talk to me about flobage. Pah!
Okay.
He just won a fortune on the horses and he won't give me a cent.
Well, it's his money.
When he was broke, he was happy to touch me for a loan. Brothers should look after each other, he used to say. He's changed his tune, now he's brassed up.
Have the police finished with the crime scene?
What does it look like? I got orders to board up the windows, and that's what I'm doing.
So the body's been removed?
I certainly hope so, or it'll stink to high heaven when they take down these boards.
Shouldn't you check?
Are you kidding? They don't pay me enough to put up boards, let alone check for dead bodies.
You're doing a fine job.
Damn right I am. You should be writing about me, not that idiot that got blown up.
The heroes who pick up the pieces when disaster strikes.
Exactly.
Well, give me your best smile and maybe I'll put your picture in the article.
Oh, right. Just give me a minute to do my hair.
The police had removed the body, but nothing else looked disturbed.
It was a brandy bottle. Some journalists drink on the job, not me. A panel had been blown away, revealing a gap. From this angle, I could see that something had been lodged in the gap behind the pipes. Behind the table were some damaged pipes. Now I'd seen it in the mirror, I could make out something behind the pipes. Voila! The police and forensic teams had missed a vital piece of evidence. Some kind of pouch. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization. I was on the right track. There was nothing of interest beyond some bloody debris.
Hey, what about my photos?
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Well, I'm waiting. Get your camera out.
Camera. Oh, I forgot. It broke.
Alors, they should never send a woman to do a man's job.
Well, this woman had fooled him easily enough, and found the evidence the police had missed.
Hello?
Yes?
What do you think of this pouch?
Very nice. Takes me back to my posing days.
Posing?
At school. With a body like mine, I was never out of work. I can show you if you like.
I'd rather not. I've only just eaten. Au revoir.
On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization. Inside the pouch were two items, a strange metallic artifact and a letter in some kind of code. The artifact had a sword laid across scales. There was a picture of Lady Justice on the locked panel in the room below the conciergerie. Another coded message using the same cipher system. So, Plantard was involved with Carchon. Plantard. Pierre killed. Murderer must have followed trail from Arnaud and Yamada. He will come for us now. We must be vigilant. Thierry's girl broke into Pierre's safe. She worries me. Imelda. So much for Imelda's innocence. Plantard was working for her and for Canchon. But why did Plantard want to meet? Was it a trap? Or maybe he was in too deep and needed me to tell the story, whatever the story was. One thing was clear. It was a story worth killing for.
Hello?
Yes,
Do you recognize this?
it looks like a kid's puzzle piece.
Would you like to see this?
No.
Au revoir.
The strange metal artifact I found in Plantard's pouch had pointed back to the quayside.